What is going on, y'all? This is your boy Rich here, and today we're going to be reviewing J. Cole's new album, The Offseason. So J. Cole recently dropped a documentary earlier this week, kind of talking about the project. It seems like he's in a place where he's trying to maximize his creative ability before he exits the game. This is definitely one of his best projects that he's ever put together. I think, when you start talking about the combination of the production and his overall approach to rapping on every song, seems like an extension kind of the feature run that he's been on for the last couple years. He's in a lot of cases bucked traditional song structure where just rapping a verse and then someone comes on with a hook and it's over, and it's just like one long verse, kind of like a freestyle on some of the songs at least. But we're gonna talk about all of them. So the first voice that you hear on the album is Killer Cameron's. Quite a surprise there. Everybody loves Killer Cam, and Cam's here strictly in a hype man role. It always worked for Joel Santana and Jim Jones, and Cole, kind of plays off him here. This first song is called 95 South. It's one of the best beats that he's ever been on. It's probably my favorite J. Cole intro since Voluminati, which was on his second album. Not only was Cameron on this song, Lil Jon was on this song, and there's no formula on this except be hard. So he's, rapping plenty of punchlines on this. This song is the kind of blatant disregard for regionalism that just shows the history of rap coming together from where we were to where we're at to potentially where we're going. And Cameron was just, his self. It felt like he was hosting one of the Dipset volume 1 through 5 mixtapes, but definitely don't, just skip to the climb back or something. Run this from the top, and I think this album you can listen to straight through pretty much. The Lil Jon resurgence is on the way. So the second song is pretty melodic. Cole's coming on there kind of like with a singy hook, and there's some trap drums there, and the triplets and everything like that. This song's cool, but a little bit of a come down from 95 South, but that gets you ready for My Life, which is just like a motherfucking thumper. So there's a big sample here. The song's called My Life, as I mentioned. You can feel goosebumps forming the first time that you hear this. At least I did. Super 808s, and you combine those with the samples and the filter drums. This whole thing feels like a cheat code. It's one of those, hey, just don't mess it up type beats. He's rapping about the effects of drugs on his community and those that are close to him. I believe Jake One had a hand in the production on this, so shouts out to Jake One. He does a lot of dope beat breakdowns for the tracks that he's created. 21 Savage is on this with him, so this is like part 2 of a lot, which, if you guys remember that, they put a video out to that. These guys have shown they are kind of a weird combination when you think about it, because you think Cole is way over here, 21's over here, but something that I'm kind of realizing what rap is, pretty much all rap is the same. I think the Netflix documentary, the New Orleans episode in particular, demonstrates that. Check that out if you haven't seen it. I think 21 and Cole clearly like each other. Some of their conversations leaked into that documentary, and that was pretty cool. And I like, artists of different styles meeting. This is a hit. I know like Cole doesn't do like traditional singles sometimes, but if it's me, I'm sending this to radio. Maury's on the hook. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's an incredible song, and and I believe this is a really nice entry point to the album. If you were like, hey, I can only play a couple of songs for somebody, or just recommend a couple of songs, definitely recommend My Life. All right, so the next song is called Applying Pressure. So 90s boom bap, here we are. This is what Cole is kind of known for, and it sounds like the same sample as Mad City from Kendrick Lamar's album in 2012, and he's telling us that he respects someone that raps about being broke rather than just how much money you have, or if you're faking it. I recommend that he check me out. In that case, I have a great song called Poor Man's Gospel. You can check it. It's on the card right there if you want. He's at this point, I think, showing on this song that he's a veteran top tier lyricist, and he's looking back on the journey, and he's leaving crumbs for those that want to follow in his lead. So the next song is called Punching the Clock. This song is a freestyle disguised as a song. It's kind of a neo soul rap beat, I would say. Now the tempo on this is real nice for people to like really go in on. I think this is something that you could put on a Hot 97 and tell them, hey, go get it. So the producers on this are Tay Beast and Mario Luciano. I thought he was going to give like the 95 folks something to kind of hold our heads to when I saw the track listing, but this is just straight, hey, I'm nice. And I guess he meant by punching the clock, he's clocking in for work, clocking in to do damage on the mic. I really like this song a lot. So the next song is called 100 Mil, and I think this one is another big anthemic track. It opens with like this stretch sample, and that kind of lulls you into a false sense of security. And Cole opens with a melodic hook, and then this clean ass like beat comes in. It's like expertly mixed. The drums, when I first heard them, they reminded me of T minus. So I was like, let me check the credits, and of course it was T minus. So with that signature sound, it kind of feels like Middle Child Part 2. I would say just roll the windows down and play this one and feel like the man or woman. I don't care what you drive. Close your eyes and dream about it. Like 100 Mil, like he's basically saying he's still going hard even though he's this far in the game. And that was like a big motivation for him, it seems like. So one of the standout songs I think everyone's pretty much talking about because of the feature on the album is J. Cole and Lil Baby here. And Lil Baby's like just blazing everything. He was on Drake's song going nuts. Now he's on Cole's song going nuts. But Cole was like, I will not have you come on here and embarrass me. As I mentioned, the song is called Pride is the Devil. So J. Cole raps about pride making people act harder than they really are. He's rapping about the side effects of pride all on this. It's a very great topic to touch on, I think, if you're a rapper, because there's just a million different directions to go, and he hits pretty much most of them. So Lil Baby comes on the track, and he just like picks up pretty much where Cole leaves off, like in the middle of his verse. So it was just another prominent standout feature from Lil Baby that he's been on. I don't know what's gotten into him lately, but he's looking like he's going to be the man. So another interesting song that is popping up based on the content is Let Go My Hand. Now this is a real jazzy beat. He was talking about the process of inspiration and how it comes, and either it doesn't, and maybe you might need time to really let a beat connect with you. Then he ties in his son, and he ties in his process of being a rap fan, and he talks about the last time that he had a fight, and he basically confirmed this like long time rumor that he had a fight with Puff Daddy. Apparently Diddy was upset about Kendrick Lamar, and they were all in a club, and he was trying to get to Kendrick Lamar, throw a drink on him, and Cole basically got in the way, and he said he got in a fight with Diddy. And he ties it into the last one of the CDs he bought in 7th grade was being Diddy, and he just listened to it. He positioned himself kind of as a low information listener, and until he graduated to artists like the Clips. This is definitely another good song here. That takes us into Interlude, and that was a song that he released earlier this week, and that one was, I think, sounds better in if you're going top to bottom rather than just throwing it out on its own, because like I said, he is doing some of these songs kind of as like these short freestyles. And if it's me, if you're putting something out there, I think just stand on its own. You want something people can kind of say back or chant, or something to easily latch on to. But Cole's whole approach is like, I'm rapping, I don't care who doesn't catch up to it. So I can respect that. The Climb Back is the song that he put out on his EP. I believe it was like Lewis Street. It was like a 2-song EP last year. And I believe there's a little bit added on the final version here. I bumped this to death when the EP came out, and it finds a home here like as number 10 on there. Super slow beat. It's probably like 45, 50, and they just manipulate it in a certain way to where he can just unleash like the top level of lyricism and flow on this. If you're a J. Cole fan, you've already heard this song. Like I said, it's top level rap mastery here. Nothing really much more to say on that. Check it out. That's the review for this song. So the next song that he has is called Close, and it's a sample from the group The New Birth. I actually did a song on this years ago. Well, the same sample. They flipped it a little bit faster than me. Very up-tempo track, crisp drums, and it's a story about a friend of his where his friend kind of went a different way than him. His friend went into the street life, and Cole went into being a rapper, and even though your lives may take you to different places, you still may wonder about your friends, what you could have did. Maybe you were just worrying about them, and he's kind of venting about that there. And then number 12, only 12 songs on the project. I wish he gave us at least 15. It's been 3 years. Cole basically comes out here and just demolishes this last song. I believe Boy Wonder is involved in this. I think Boy Wonder was also involved in the intro. Different sounding drums here. This whole song is like a big victory lap, and he's just gonna enjoy performing this. I can tell it's nothing like too complicated, but he said he's still gonna be him, when the fame is gone. And Cole is always, presented himself as this very humble being and someone, sometimes I think the exterior or the interior of Cole sneaks through when people try to like think piece him up and everything like that. Sometimes points are solid, I think, but other times it's like, man, just let this dude who's like one of the great rappers of all time at this point, let him, just create and do his art. So I don't think this is the deepest or hardest to figure out album that J. Cole's ever made. He's pretty straightforward, I would say. I really enjoyed his verse on The Side Effects of Pride. As I mentioned before, the outro is probably like the one that stuck to me the most. Climax, amazing. And of course, hearing like Lil Jon basically tell you throw your hood up, like oh, that's dope. Like he's really like hitting all the buttons there. It feels like he's trying to maximize the peak of his rap ability. And his last album came out when he was 33. It seems like he didn't want to let any more time pass before, he looked up and he was like 38, 39, maybe even 40. And maybe he's not what he once was. Maybe he doesn't have the proper motivation around him. Maybe his family life has progressed in a way to where he can't dedicate the time that he has now. So this is a perfect time for him to put this out. He goes into more on that in his documentary. And the documentary itself made it feel like he was staring his rap mortality in the face. And you can hear some of that in the music too. Like he's not so much as focused on like hit songs, and he kind of like went away from chasing sounds a long time ago. He just did him and further evolved his style. There's not 3-level storytelling here. This is a rapper's rap album, especially if you're an artist that's watching this video and you're like, hey, what does somebody else think of this? And speaking from a rapper's perspective, like I can hear what he was going for on this album. And it was like, it didn't go straight into like, hey, this is like the Drought 3 and it's just a bar thing. But it's like, yo, I want to show this level that people ain't at. And I can respect that. His production is as sharp as ever. I think his beats are always have been good, sometimes very good, and he's welcoming even more producers that are even superior to him in to try on the outfit of his aesthetic. So, and the results are awesome. So I can't recommend this album enough. I've listened to it several times already. It's been out probably it's less than a day at this point, but I just wanted to record this and give you guys my thoughts on the album. But this is really good. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably say like 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10. I'm not really finding a lot of weaknesses on the album. If I do, maybe we'll revisit this, but I feel really confident in saying if it's not his best album, it's definitely in the conversation. He just sounds so mature. He sounds so like fully formed at this point. And he's definitely going to put out, a lot of people are going to be inspired off of this. So without further ado, if you enjoyed this review or like some of the beats that we're playing here, my name is Rich Latta. Hit me with a like on the video, leave a comment, let me know what your favorite song was on this, and we can talk about it. Anyway, this is Rich. I'm up out of here. Peace.